Hello, March 9th garden update. It has been 1 week since I planted my first thing of seeds, and everything almost has sprouted except for the lavender. So parsley, after 1 week, looks like this. Tiny, tiny, tiny sprouts. Let's see. This is chives. Two tiny things have changed here. This here. Zinnia's doing great. Tiny little sprouts. Let's see, what's this? That was Sweet William. This is dill. This is, don't remember, Shasta daisy, I think. Yes, Shasta daisies. Tiny, tiny. Black-eyed Susan. Lavender. Don't see anything there. In my pots, I don't see anything great there. And I call these hollyhocks. They are hyacinth, grape hyacinth. This is a houseplant that I just brought outside today. In this pot, there is some green stuff growing here. So I don't know what bulb that was, but there's some growth. Japanese magnolia, tons of leaves and foliage. That's what the rose bush looks like. Josie's crying. Azalea still has just that one flower. Okay, in the garden bed, I think a lot of the gladiolas are coming up. Here, all the little sprouts that look like that. Lots back here. I don't remember planting them this close to the tree, but none of the ones over here have come up. Let's see. This could be something. I don't know if it's things that I planted or if it's a weed or if it's a daffodil. It is Monday, March 11th. I just planted some cosmos in this pot that I found at Dollar General. And over here, I've done another container of the hyacinth, which all of their purple petals have fallen off. But I also just planted petunias in this space right here. This is St. Patrick's Day garden update. It has been 15 days. Lavender has tiny, tiny sprouts. This is the, I think, chives. Chives. Don't see any sprouts, and it used to have some tiny, tiny thingies. I think that might be it right there. Tiny, tiny. Lots of rain this week. This is the dill. Looking good. This is the parsley. I don't remember this flower that I put in here. It starts with a C. This is the zinnia. It's never where I want it to be with the writing. Shasta daisy. Black-eyed Susan. And Sweet William. And this is a houseplant that someone left on my step back in November maybe. So I brought it outside. I think there's starting to be some blooms on this marigold. That's what Aaron said, but I don't see them. Japanese magnolia. A little bit going on in this container. Azalea. The rose. And then this container, something is happening here. There was a big bulb right here. I think that might be dahlia. And then some flower seeds right here. I think this is zinnia. In the garden bed, we have some growth. Somewhere around here is the fern, but you can see the gladiolas are popping up. I planted 50 of those in the back. these little spikes. They're so funny looking. It's like just a sword coming out of the ground. Hello, today is March 24th. So it has been 3 weeks since I started gardening. Today I'm making a container of alyssum, I think is how you say this, which will be really pretty, and a container of forget-me-nots, which their seeds look really funny. I'm going to show you. Forget-me-not seeds. They look really weird. Okay, that time lapse is hilarious because that took me forever and it looks like it only took 2 seconds. But we decided to leave this one because it's on the corner, so it kind of makes sense, and it still is green. The other ones were not green, they were just scary, like a horror movie porch. And so there's still like some plants back here we need to cut down. So now my job is to clean out all of that mess and try to make it look more like this, which still isn't beautiful. It still has some work to do too, but at least it's growing things. So some stuff I got yesterday. This is going in that shade garden over there. It is called a ginger lily, variegated ginger lily. I had to look up what this 6 means. It means that anything that's a 6, they're good to grow together. So this is beautiful. And I got a geranium to go with it. Let's see. I think this is the geranium. No, sorry, gardenia. That's what I meant to say. Gardenia. This is going to be so beautiful. And then we have 3 star jasmine. We have 2 small ones from Lowe's and 1 big one from a nursery. And then, of course, our azalea. The star jasmine are going to be trellised. Gardenia, azalea, and the ginger lily will be in this shade garden. First of all, my allergies are kicking. And it was supposed to rain today from 12 to 5. It's 12-ish right now. And it hasn't. It's sprinkled. So I have been pulling roots out of this full sun garden. That's what we're calling it. The garden in front of my porch. Taking a lunch break. Because I was getting very depressed about how much work there is in a single square foot. Like, there's just so many roots. And I was getting really hungry. So taking a break and giving you an update that I forgot how hard it was to pull the roots out of that other garden. And I had a helper with me last time. But 1 square foot at a time, everything's going to be okay. Hello. It is now Wednesday, March 27th. And I am finally at a point where I am happy with the progress that I've done in this full sun garden. I'm going to turn you around. It has taken me almost 3 days to get the roots to a good point. There's still tons of roots, but I just don't want to choke out anything that I plant in here. So from here to that tree-ish thing, it is manageable with the roots. There's tons of roots on top of the plastic. So once I got all of that done, then I pulled back the plastic, and there's an even bigger root system that we're all tangled up. There's a water pipe here. So just dealing with all of that. And now the next step is I'm going to leave this plastic layer open right now because I'm going to cut through it using the auger and my box cutter and plant bulbs first. And I think that's the only thing I'm planting there. I don't think any of these bushes are going in that garden. Okay, so I have... For bulbs, we're going to be doing echinacea, dahlia, and lilies. Out of 50 gladiolas planted, I think I counted 18 or 19 that have come up. Final walkthrough of this full suns. The frogs are let me know where the water line was because I almost messed up.
Do it. Dad, that's a hot tea. I want to try. Where's the hot?
It's right here.
Oh.
So you want to make a sandwich?
I got a pickle. I got a pickle. Hey, 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 hey. I got
What'd you say?
2 hot dogs.
2.
Hey, hey.
And pickles. Do you want grapes or strawberries? What?
Get great.
I think I want some grapes. Hello, I'm all cleaned up. Cleaned up the yard, cleaned up my tools, made a snack, got my drink. We got giant grapes, like huge, cheese, strawberries. And so now, when I end this video, I just want to tell you about some things that I've been thinking about with this garden, because gardening definitely brings a lot of reflection and a lot of life lessons. Like, all week long, I've been pulling roots. So when somebody tells you to get down to the root of the issue, baby, they mean you got to untangle years. Whew. I don't even think about that part. Years worth of stuff that you just let sit. It grew. It got tangled up into other deep-rooted issues. See, there's some deep stuff to talk about there, okay? Because I've been pulling roots that have been sitting at this house. See, this full sun garden, I was thinking, I have a lot of plants that I want to plant in this garden because there are lots of things that can do well in a full sun garden. Obviously, somebody else had the same thinking because somebody planted a lot of other stuff in this garden too that has passed away. And so this house has been sitting empty for a while. We moved here the beginning of November. Most of the stuff in this house is still from the 80s. Like decorations and appliances and all kinds of stuff like that. But somebody cared about this house back in the day. And so I'm pulling these roots that somebody else planted in a garden bed that I'm looking at it right now is bordered by bricks. Somebody else put this fabric down. Somebody else put the water pipe down for this faucet that I have a water hose connected to. There is a sprinkler system that I don't know how to use already here. And a lot of times I stare out my window at a picket fence, y'all, that somebody else installed. Now, it is like peeling and there's a lot of boards that need to be replaced. But someone else put a picket fence around this entire property. And then behind me is like hurricane fence. It turns from picket to a taller fence that someone else put there that I did not have to do. I inherited all of this stuff when I bought this house, and that is the biggest blessing. The fact that I'm sitting on a porch right now is it makes my heart so happy, because at my other house, that was something I wanted so bad, was a porch, because I love sitting outside during a rainy situation, not like a storm or just. So 2 days ago, I worked in my garden bed as much as I could, and then it started raining, and I was so excited because I ran inside, grabbed my book, and sat here and read a book in the rain on my porch. And it was the most glorious thing in the world. And that is my hugest reflection when I think about this house. So I am in the middle of reading through the Bible. Well, not in the middle. I'm at the beginning of reading through the Bible in a year in chronological order. And I'm in the book of Joshua right now, which is one of my favorite books of the Bible, because last year I did a deep study of Joshua with my church. And so I'm in Joshua right now, and they are going into their promised land, and they are having to drive out everybody that lives in that promised land. But I mean, that's great. That's easy to say. Like so Moses in Deuteronomy, he is giving the people this long farewell address. That's like what the whole book is, that he's like telling them all the laws again, because this is a new generation that he's about to leave. He's about to die. And so we get to Deuteronomy 6, and so we have just these basic things that he's telling them. He says, "Hear therefore, O Israel, and observe and do it." Don't just listen to me and hear the law, but actually do it. "Keep all these statutes. Fear the Lord, that you might increase mightily, as the Lord God of thy fathers has promised thee, in the land that floweth with milk and honey," their promised land. "Hear, O Israel, the Lord our God is one Lord, and thou shalt love the Lord thy God with all thine heart, and with all thy soul, and with all thy might. And these words which I command thee this day shall be in thine heart. Teach it to your children," he's telling them. "Write them on your heart, write them on your gates, write them on the posts of your house." But the thing that I want to talk about is we get to chapter 6, verse 10. "And it shall be, when the Lord thy God shall have brought thee into the land which he swore unto your fathers, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, to give thee great and goodly cities, which thou buildest not." You didn't build these cities. "And I'm going to give you houses full of good things, which you filled not, and wells digged that you did not dig, vineyards and olive trees, which you did not plant. And when thou shalt have eaten and be full, beware lest thou forget the Lord, which brought thee forth out of the land of Egypt." So he's saying, I'm bringing you to a land where you're going to have all of these things that you did not build. You did not dig these wells, but you get to benefit from all of this. And as you are enjoying it, beware that you don't forget that God gave you all of this. There's people passing by on bicycles. Okay. On my road, I hear things down the road that echo down the road, so they're just gonna hear me preaching as they ride by on their bikes. So I think about that a lot, that it is such a blessing. And I was talking to my kids the other day, my Sunday school class, about when Jesus multiplied the bread and the fish. It was 2 bread, 5 fish, and he was able to feed 5,000 people, and there were 12 baskets full of food left over. And so that is the character of Jesus, that he will give you a blessing. He will give you a miracle. And it is okay. It is in his nature that it is actually more than what you needed. Because I definitely feel guilty about having my house. I don't know if guilty is the right word. Kind of ashamed to tell people about it. Because I live in a 5-bedroom house. And I have 2 kids, and it is more than what I need. Much more. Especially, and what makes me feel so bad about it is that I live in a town where people basically have nothing. And I am in the middle of the town in this amazing house. And I feel bad about it. But also, it is literally a gift from God. And the only way that I can justify it is I want to use my home to give to others and to bless others, because it was just a gift to me. And when I say that my house is a gift from God, I don't mean that someone gave it to me. I mean that God put it in my path, that I found this home, me and my husband, and that God opened so many doors financially for us to be able to afford this house. So I did have to pay like the down payment, and I had to pay, we have a mortgage. So when I say gift, I am like paying for this house. But to me, it's a gift that it's exactly what we dreamed of and in our price range. That's a gift to me. But even though God gives you these things, first of all, you have to be a good steward of them. And second of all, even though this house is a gift, it is a ton of work. It's 100 years old. And we are trying to restore it to be how we want it to be and to make it, you know, back to its former glory. But the thing I want to talk about with Joshua is they get to the promised land. Moses doesn't get to go in. He only gets to see it from the mountain. And Joshua takes control of the people. And the Lord tells them, this land is yours. I'm going to be with you. Don't be afraid. You are going to take over all this land, but you have to go kick out all these people that already live here. You have to go to war. Okay? And that sounds cool, like, the land is yours. Go and take it. But that takes years. And that takes work. And that takes blood, sweat, and tears. Literally. And so even, I don't know, that's the life lesson I'm trying to give. That even though God gives you these things, you still have to put the work in. Okay? And this garden has been work. But I have really enjoyed it. And I feel like, I mean, I'm getting stronger. It's messed up my allergies super bad. But if you know me, I do not like going outside. At my old house, I didn't do anything outside at all. At all. But I actually really enjoy it. I really love spring. That's my favorite time of year. So I have been outside so much, and I've enjoyed it. And hopefully stuff grows. We'll see. I planted a ton of different flowers, and so we'll see what comes up. So I will keep you updated. Thanks for following along, and I hope you have a great spring.